Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The UK, US and Australia have announced a historic security pact in the Asia-Pacific in what's seen as an effort to counter China's growing influence.
Today we're taking another historic step to deepen and formalize cooperation among all three of our nations because we all recognize the imperative of ensuring peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific over the long term.
Announced by the leaders of the three countries at a joint press conference, it will let Australia build nuclear power submarines for the first time using technology provided by the US. China's Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian condemned the agreement as extremely irresponsible. The AUKUS Pact is one of the country's biggest defence partnerships in decades.
A new enhanced trilateral security partnership between Australia, the United Kingdom and the United States. AUKUS, a partnership where our technology, our scientists, our industry, our defence forces are all working together to deliver a safer and more secure region that ultimately benefits all.
The pace of climate change has not been slowed by the global COVID-19 pandemic, and the world remains behind in its battle to cut carbon emissions. That's according to the United Nations. They said the virus caused only a temporary downturn in CO2 emissions and that there is a rising likelihood the world will miss its Paris Agreement target of reducing global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. French President Emmanuel Macron has said the head of the Islamic State group in the Sahara has been killed by French troops.
La mort de Abu Walid al-Sahraoui.
France's defence minister gave further details about the operation, saying the news would be a big blow for IS. Adnan Abu Walid al-Sawari formed Islamic State in the Greater Sahara in 2015. The group is blamed for most attacks in the region, including the targeted killing of French aid workers in 2020. An Indonesian court has ruled that President Joko Widodo and other top officials have been negligent in tackling air pollution in Jakarta. The lawsuit was filed by residents in 2019, the same year an air quality monitor ranked it the worst air-polluted city in the world. In a landmark decision, the court ordered monitoring stations and other measures to improve the capital's air. North Korea says recent missiles fired were a test of its new railway-borne missile system. It also reported possible plans to expand the North's railway-borne missile unit. Analysts warn that the system could make it more difficult for a foreign military to track and destroy the missiles before they are fired. The missiles struck a target in the sea off the country's east coast. Rapper Nicki Minaj has been criticised by Trinidad and Tobago's health minister over a tweet in which she said her cousin's friend in the country had been made impotent by a COVID vaccine. Terence Dayal Singh said the post had wasted his department's time. It has caused backlash from health experts around the world who are concerned about vaccine disinformation. 4 activists in Russia and 1 journalist have been detained in central Moscow after unveiling a banner that read "Free Navalny," referring to Vladimir Putin's imprisoned arch-critic. Activists unfolded the banner in Red Square, but police officers arrived in less than a minute, taking the slogan off them before arresting them. Navalny is serving 2.5 years in jail for parole violations in an embezzlement case he says was fabricated. 4 amateur astronauts have blasted off from Florida on their private mission into orbit. The Inspiration 4 crew that was put together by a billionaire blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center in a launch that was broadcast live around the world. The rocket could be seen flying through the skies above Florida from homes across the state. The quartet will spend the next 3 days circling the Earth. It's another milestone in the space tourism market, which is experiencing a resurgence after Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos both took trips. And finally, a Zimbabwean artist has turned Mugabe-era banknotes into paintings. Over a decade ago, Zimbabweans watched as hyperinflation made the currency worthless, with Zim dollars abandoned in 2009. Now, Prudence Chimutua has found value in the banknotes by using them to make art. Her paintings capture the daily lives of women, describing them as a symbol of strength and dominance. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.